We're looking at Zani's kit reveal, starting with basic attack sequence. Basic attack, perform up to 4 consecutive attacks to deal spectro damage. After performing basic attack stage 3, press normal attack at the right time, perform basic attack breakthrough, which can be followed by basic attack stage 4 by pressing normal attack again. It looks like this is very similar to Spectro Rover actually. It has the exact same timing and everything. You do the 3 attacks, a special attack at a specific time, and then a follow-up attack right after. And it looks like these 3 work in the same way as well, which is they start from basic attack stage 3, and then you can do the timed attack, and then the follow-up attack stage 4. So all 3 of those are going to be great. That's basically identical to Spectro Rover. Then we have Resonance Skill. Attack the target to deal spectro damage and enter a block stance. The state ends early if Zani is switched off the field. Press normal attack within a certain time to perform basic attack stage 3, recovering 10 points of redundant energy and stagnating the target on hit. So this must be Forte Gauge 1. When attacked by the enemy in the block stance, reduce this instance of damage by 100%. That's insane, 100%. And stagnate nearby enemies. Then cast Resonance Skill Pinpoint Strike, so it's like an enhanced Resonance Skill within the basic Resonance Skill, dealing spectro damage and additionally reducing their vibration strength by 5%. The damage taken by Zani is reduced by 30% within the next 2 seconds. Cool. When Zani is not in Inferno mode and has full redundant energy, her Resonance Skill is replaced with Resonance Skill Crisis Response Protocol. Hold Resonance Skill to enter Ready Stance. While in Ready Stance, Zani is immune to interruption. This state ends early if Zani is switched off the field. After releasing Resonance Skill button or when the stance duration ends, consume all redundant energy to cast targeted action dealing spectro damage, which is also considered spectrofrazzle damage. Cool, so that's the first instance of spectrofrazzle damage on her kit. That's great. When attacked by the enemy in ready stance, reduce this instance of damage by 100%, got quite a few of those, and consume all redundant energy to cast Forcible Riposte, dealing spectro damage, also considered spectrofrazzle damage, stagnating the target and further reducing their vibration strength by 5%. Damage taken by Zani is reduced by 30% within the next 2 seconds. Casting targeted action or Forcible Riposte sends Zani into Sunburst mode and inflicts a stack of Heliacal Ember onto the target on hit. The last stage of the attack recovers Blaze. So that's going to be Forte Gauge 2, which is for the Resonance Liberation. Sunburst. The spectrofrazzle damage dealt by Zani to the target is amplified by 20%. So if this mode increases your spectrofrazzle damage, and that is all of the important damage, then you want to be doing that first before you do the Resonance Liberation, right? Assuming that it works that way. Resonance Liberation, Rekindle, deal spectral damage and enter Inferno mode, increasing max blaze from 100 to 150 and granting 50 blaze. When in Inferno mode, the multiplier of basic attack is increased. So the multiplier of basic attack is increased with Inferno mode, and spectrofrazzle damage is amplified on herself in Sunburst mode. So assuming that you can activate this and then this, you'll be cracked. The Last Stand. When in Inferno mode, Resonance Liberation The Last Stand becomes available when Blaze is lower than 30 or after 8 seconds in Inferno mode. Casting Resonance Liberation The Last Stand deals spectro damage and ends the Inferno mode. This is the thing where you go into this state, right? And that's the final attack. So you go into that state, you do some attacks. That's why the basic attack is increased, because it's... yeah, okay. Forte Circuit. Heliacal Ember. When Zani in the team and a nearby resonator inflicts spectrofrazzle upon a target, immediately consume all spectrofrazzle stacks and trigger the corresponding damage. Then convert spectrofrazzle into an equal number of heliacal embers. Every time the conversion happens, Zani obtains Blaze, so that's the Forte Gauge 2 again, based on the stacks of Heliacal Ember inflicted. Heliacal Ember is capped at 60 stacks, and each stack lasts for 6 seconds. Heliacal Ember stacks are counted toward the Spectro Frazzle stacks for the Eternal Radiance Sonata effect. This happens passively. Anytime Zani is on the team and Spectro Frazzle is applied to an enemy, it immediately is converted into Heliacal Embers. Just doing a little math. Base Phoebe in Confession state inflicts 10 stacks plus 8 stacks with her Liberation. So that's 18. And then there's 1 stack that gets inflicted when she casts the Confession state. So that's 19. And when you have the S1, the Liberation goes up to 10 stacks. So that would be 21. And since it converts into the equal amount of Heliacal Embers, that means the max you can do in one rotation is 21 with just Phoebe. Scorching Light. This is super long. When Zani is in Inferno mode, Heavy/Daybreak, Heavy/Dawning, Heavy/Nightfall, and Heavy/Light Smash become available and deal Spectro damage that is considered both heavy attack damage and Spectro Frazzle damage. When Blaze is no less than 30, Resonant Skill Standard Defense Protocol is replaced with Resonant Skill Scorching Light. Hold Resonant Skills when to ready stance, during which Zani is immune to interruption. This state ends early when Zani is switched off the field. Release Resonant Skill button within a certain time to consume Blaze and perform Heavy Attack, Heavy/Daybreak. When attacked in a certain time after entering ready stance, reduce this instance of damage by 100% and stagnate nearby targets. Perform Heavy Attack Light Smash, consuming blazes and further reducing their vibration strength by 10%. The damage taken within the next 2 seconds is reduced by 30%. After casting Heavy/Light Smash, this is such a tongue twister, man. Basic attack is replaced with Heavy/Nightfall, consuming up to 40 blazes on hit, with each blaze increasing the damage multiplier of Heavy/Nightfall. If Heavy/Nightfall stage 1 is interrupted, press basic attack again to cast Heavy/Nightfall stage 2. That's cool, just doesn't cancel out immediately, that's great. Upon releasing the button after a certain time or when the ready starts ends, immediately perform Heavy/Nightfall. When Blaze is no less than 30, basic attack is replaced with Heavy/Daybreak. After entering Inferno mode, casting basic attack immediately replaces the current basic attack with Resonant Skill Scorching Light. Hold basic attack to enter ready stance after forcing. So basically it's just a bunch of basic attacks. They're just basic attacks that are strong, and it looks like you do 4 of them in a row. So this is redundant energy. We don't know how much you're getting for each of these. Normal attack, intro skill, resonant skill. That's the basic resonant skill. And then that's the follow-up to this base resonant skill. There's basically a enhanced resonant skill, but isn't the Inferno mode enhanced resonant skill, just to make things really confusing. And then Blaze. So this is the Inferno mode Resonance Liberation Forte gauge, and that's the basic Forte gauge. Spectro Frazzle grants 5 Blaze when converted into Heliacal Ember, so you'll almost get 100 Blaze just for 1 Phoebe rotation. Anything you don't get, you should be able to get from this if you cast it to activate, because you need to cast these before you activate Sunburst, and you get 50 from your super activation. So 1 Phoebe rotation gets you to 100. You cycle through the normal attacks to get the 20% buff, then cast the Liberation, which puts you into Inferno mode, which buffs basic attack, which is what you do here. That all seems pretty simple, pretty interesting. Being able to parry and reduce loads of damage is great. I wonder if she scales off defense. That would be really interesting, actually. This is Phoebe's stuff. One thing I wanted to look at is her outro. Look at this. 100% Spectro Frazzle damage amplification from her outro in Confession, and Spectro Resistance Shred by 10%. This is crazy now, because before it was basically worthless, but because so much of her kit is done as Spectro Frazzle damage, that is going to be insane. And if you look at her weapon, it does 30% itself as well. That's 130%. That's like 3 mortar fees. That's just insane. Oh, I cannot wait. And if she can stop 100% of damage 4 times in one rotation, if I'm understanding how this works, and 30% twice, she's going to be freaking cracked, bro. But I do wonder, because the intro skill is normal, but the outro skill, I've got to look at this, does 150% of Zani's attack as damage, but then it removes all the stacks of Helia Kalemba, and each stack increases the damage dealt by 10%. Because it can go up to 60, theoretically that's 600%, so that would be a 750% attack damage. But unless you spend an ungodly amount of time on Spectra Rover, switch to Phoebe and then switch to Zani, I can't see you getting to 60 stacks ever. Most you're probably going to get is to 21 if you have S1 Phoebe, and then they'll get consumed as soon as you outro from Zani, and they get 20% Spectra damage amp. So this is good because the way that it's set up, she always gets 1 Helia Kalemba even if you weren't using Phoebe or Spectra Rover, so there'll always be a way to buff Spectra damage. That's quite nice. And then the inherent skill is just Spectra damage buff on intro skill, and when in ready stance, all damage taken is reduced by 40%. That's cracked actually, because all of the things that involve ready stance are the ones that reduce the damage by 100% or 30%. So that's insane. Surely she must be scaling with defense. Surely. But just thinking how this will work, I hope that Inferno mode doesn't overwrite Sunburst mode. I hope they can coexist, because if they can't, then you're never going to use the first one if you have anyone who uses Spectro Frazzle on the team. You'll just go straight into the Liberation once you have 150 and enough energy to do the Liberation. If you get the 20% amp, you don't even need it. Phoebe gives you 130% if you have a weapon. Absolutely cracked. So excited.